Hi everyone, it's Becca, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about my long COVID journey. I really don't want to film this right now. I really don't feel well. I'm just not feeling good. I went to the store today, in the dollar store, and it just completely wiped me out. And so filming this is but I didn't know when I'd be able to do it, and I kind of wanted to just get it done, you know? But I feel sick. I feel very sick right now. And today is Long COVID Awareness Day. It's Long COVID Awareness Month, but there's day 2, and I really wanted to get this video done, but I don't know when I'm gonna be able. What? I don't know when I'm gonna be able to edit this, but I wanted to at least film it. I did write down some things I wanted to talk about with my long COVID story, and I'm sorry that I am a bit more low energy right now. I'm not feeling good, but I really wanted to get this done. You're like, Becca, why are you pushing yourself? I shouldn't be. I mean, my hair looks like shit. I haven't washed it in days, but my gosh. Oh, are you gonna be part of the video? So I got COVID New Year's of right before 2022, so basically 2022, and I was out of work for 12 to 14 days, and when I went back to work, I felt like garbage. So my main symptoms during my COVID infection that I can remember were headaches, fatigue, body aches, congestion, coughing, overheating, that sort of thing. Pretty much standard COVID symptoms. When I got back to work, because I wasn't doing radical rest, and I had a very physical job, I was a busser at a restaurant. I was constantly on the move, constantly doing things, having to socialize, not resting because I couldn't. And I think that is what definitely pushed my body into the long COVID territory, because it was immediately right after my infection, which never fully went away. There were some pre-COVID symptoms that got worse after infection, which include body aches, overheating, fatigue, sleep, brain fog, headaches, and my periods. Of course, when it comes to periods, anything can change your period, what you're eating, your lifestyle, all that stuff. But I did notice that my periods got worse after my COVID infection, which is why they're listed here. This is just my opinion on that. My current long COVID symptoms that I can remember off the top of my head: brain fog, chronic headaches, and migraines, which I had chronic headaches obviously before my COVID infection, but they definitely got worse. I get dizzy, lightheaded, I have some memory issues, some sinus discomfort, which could be just from the headaches, and concentration issues. I get dizziness after standing, my heart beats really fast after even sometimes mild exertion, like walking up the steps slow. So we're working on that, but most of my test results have been normal, which is Becca, that's a good thing. Yes, but also it's frustrating because I know there's something wrong with my body and the tests aren't showing that, which is frustrating. Body pain, joint stiffness, malaise, worsened symptoms after exertion, overheating, hot flashes, fatigue, worsened periods, anxiety heightened during luteal and menstrual phases, heat sensitivity, cold sensitivity are some of the symptoms that I can remember off the top of my head at this time. These lights are I'm sorry, these lights are going in and out. But yeah, so that's what I was dealing with. And I was without insurance from around February 2022 to around September 2022. So that entire, at the start of my long COVID journey, I had no way of seeing a doctor. The 2 times I got sick, I had to pay out of pocket. So I didn't really get to go to the doctor. It was really difficult. My coworkers kept saying, you should apply for government insurance. And I finally got to work on that process because I can't, with this current situation that I'm in, I can't be without insurance. I quit my job in May of 2022 because it was becoming too difficult for me to handle. I physically couldn't do the job as well. I couldn't keep up there was even a customer that noticed that I was walking slow, and he made a not so nice comment about it. And I said, I have chronic pain. And then his tone immediately changed. So there's that. So I left my job. I was hoping I would get an online job, but I have been unemployed since May of 2022. During my long COVID journey, I have experienced some ableism. I'm very lucky and fortunate to not have experienced like too much ableism, but I've had people tell me that I'm faking it, it's all in my head, giving me a hard time about it, things like that, which was very frustrating and made me feel like I knew what I was going through was valid, but like other people were it felt like people were trying to invalidate me. Not people, like it was only like a handful, but I'm not going to get too deep into that because some of that is personal and I don't want to air that out on the internet at this time. Probably maybe never because of people involved. Some of the things that I have been doing to prevent my long COVID from getting worse is wearing a mask. I have talked about wearing a mask in other videos. You can get free masks through maskblock.org. You can find a mask block in your area and they will send you masks for free. So you should go do that. I had to stop doing certain things like going out to bars and partying. Like even during that first year, I was still going out to bars and pushing myself even further. And there were times where I would get home after exerting myself and I would think, why am I doing this to myself? And why am I doing things that are starting to not align with my morals, my beliefs, my core values, and also what's not aligning with what my body is able to do? I was going without a cane to bars and stuff. I started using a cane within that year, but I could only use it outside of work because, I can't use it. I couldn't use it at work. Not because I wasn't allowed to, but because it just wouldn't work. I had to do some lifestyle changes. I have to pace myself. I have to use mobility aids. Like I have a cane, a walker, and a wheelchair. I use all three. I understand that I am technically able to walk, but I am an ambulatory wheelchair user. I use it because if I exert myself too much, I get very fatigued, dizzy, and my pain gets worse and I basically crash. There are times where I sit in my wheelchair the entire time I'm doing something and I still crash. Things like the weather can affect me, which I'm sure anyone, like a lot of people can relate to that, even if you don't have long COVID. But like if it's cold, my joint pain gets worse. If it's hot, my heat sensitivity, my dizziness gets worse. Things like that. Some other things I do to try to maintain this is I use a shower chair, which I cannot shower every single day. I have gotten to the point where I cannot do that. And I think that like my energy could be saved for other things that are important too. So I shower usually every 4 to 5 days. I do have baby wipes, face wipes, and dry shampoo, but the dry shampoo, I'm still like not great at it, but it also doesn't do that much for me. So you kind of just see my hair as an oily, unwashed mess, which is, whatever. It's not that deep. Long COVID has drastically affected my mental health. I have not been doing well, especially within the last 1 to 2 years. I've been extremely depressed, dealing with intrusive thoughts, some not intrusive, and feeling very, very lonely. I have been dealing with a lot of loneliness because I feel like there are certain friendships. I'm not saying this in a mean way to air anything out. This is part of my long COVID journey. I do feel like some friendships have drifted away since my long COVID started. And I'm not saying it may necessarily be because of that, but it happened during that time. So that loneliness got worse. I feel very isolated. And I'm also saying this respectfully, but people don't wear a mask. And that's very isolating for me, being a person screaming about why we should be wearing a mask, why we should care about COVID still, because it's not just a cold. There is facts and science that backs that up. There are so many people with long COVID, but this video isn't about the statistics. If you want to look that stuff up, please do so on your own. I highly encourage you to do so. I deal with a lot of loneliness and I worry about because I would love to have a romantic relationship. Part of me worries, well, who would want to date someone who doesn't have a job, who is chronically ill, which I don't think that about other people because I see other people who are chronically ill and have relationships, but I think that about myself only. So it's I'm dealing with that internalized ableism because there are people out there who are understanding and would care and not see me as a burden. It's just finding that person. but that's also been a struggle, and I've just been very lonely. Very lonely. Without my cat Lily and like the support of the people I do have in my life, I don't know where I would be. I'm gonna be brutally honest about that. I don't know where I would be. This has been very difficult. There's some days where I have the thought of like, I don't feel like a person. I don't feel like I'm a person. And I know I'm a person, you know what I mean? But I dissociate from my body, or I try to disconnect so much from my pain so that I can just not feel the pain for one moment. But I'm always in pain. Always in pain. That I had symptoms before COVID, and it just makes everything worse. Like, I have a chronic sore throat. That was before COVID. But imagine having a sore throat all the time while also feeling like you have the flu all the time. You just feel sick 24/7 and nothing it feels like there's nothing that fixes it. Even rest. I can flare up just laying in bed, which is so frustrating, and it's hard when people don't understand that, or like you have to explain that over and over. It's been a very frustrating journey for me. My doctors, I'm seeing a bunch of doctors, specialists and stuff. Like I said, a lot of my test results have been normal, which is incredibly frustrating because I know what I'm going through. I know what I'm dealing with. It's just really frustrating. But I've had doctors tell me to exercise, that I need to sleep better and fix my mental health, and my pain will get better and my situation will get better. I'm like, I've said this to my therapist. Part of the reason my mental health is really bad right now is because of all my symptoms. Yes, I was mentally ill before COVID, but it definitely got bad after COVID. And I say after COVID, meaning after my infection. COVID is very much an ongoing problem right now. A lot of my doctors focus more on the fibromyalgia diagnosis and not the long COVID diagnosis as a bigger part of the picture. I'm going back to my rheumatologist because she saw me once, said fibro, and then said, there's nothing I can do for you. Sleep better and fix your mental health. So I'm going back because I want to look into the fatigue aspect and the exertion aspect, because I'm not saying that I'm not confidently saying that I have ME, but it's something I want to explore to rule it out, or to say, hey, you do have this. Because it's it will help other people understand me, it'll help me understand me, it'll help doctors understand me. And I don't know, another miscellaneous thing that I have on here is that I was part of a long COVID support group through my medical thing, but I was the only young person. It was older individuals. They were all very nice to me and very supportive. And one guy, even like through the facilitator, sent me a bunch of stuff. I'm still working through the one word search, still not done with it because it's been difficult, but it was very sweet of him to do that. And I actually do miss that support group. It was something to look forward to. I can say confidently that I will not shut up about long COVID. I will not shut up about my journey with long COVID. I will not stop documenting it because it's important. It's a problem, and I'm not going to allow it to get swept under the rug. I'm going to be loud about it. But I'm telling you, I have been suffering. And I need people to hear that, because there are other people with long COVID who are suffering as well, suffering in silence. So if you take anything from this video, do more research on long COVID, be more aware about long COVID, and try to prevent it by wearing a mask, filtering the air, and doing whatever you can to take care of yourself, your community, etc. This was kind of like my basic long COVID story, so I don't want to keep talking because I've been talking for 16 minutes and my throat hurts. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked the video. So give the video a big thumbs up. I make videos about anything and everything, including my chronic illness journey. So if you're into that, or you're into just me yapping, you should subscribe and hit that bell to get notified every time I upload. That's it. I'm gonna stop now because I need to go sit. Bye.